Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Mahabhagavat Shilagokshara Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Shila Satchid Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Patadash Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shila Hairas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vajamandal Mathrindavan Dham ki jai. Abhishra Pirata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang Pravrajantam Anupetam Apetya Krityam Dvaipayano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Bhinedustang Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Shrinvatang Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasto Hyabadrani Vidhunoti Suhritsatam. Nashta Prayesh Pavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvang Nayamam Charanantikam. Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakama Ditaranka Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat Pranams. Group Manjari Didi, Gargaraji, Raseshwari Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Madhvi Didi, Mantramurti Mataji. Oh, you watched the introduction, huh? You and your mother, Prajumna Prabhu? Cool. Rohit Radha Krishna ji. Happy Akshay Tritiya, yes. For me, it was yesterday, but yeah, I know for many of you in the West, it's today. All right. Oh, and just for all of you, I'm not sure if you're subscribed on Vine of Devotion, but in case you are, for some reason yesterday it wasn't letting us send out an email. So all that we have 41 subscribers, but I wasn't able to send an email out to everybody. I was only able to post to the website. So just letting you know, yeah, I did post something yesterday on Akshay Tritiya, but you won't find it in your inbox. We need to fix that problem. All right, so yesterday we read this chapter. Never realized how much Brihaspati could infuriate me, but okay. Shukadev, I'll just go over what we read yesterday. Shukadev Goswami said, "O Parikshit, I shall now describe the dynasty of Puru, in which you were born, and many saintly kings and Brahmins appeared." So the lineage of Puru was Puru, Janamejaya, Prachinvan, Pravira, Manusyu, Charupad, Sudyu, Bahugava, Sangyati, Ahangyati, Rodrashva, and through the Apsara Gritachi came Riteyu, Kaksheyu, Standileu, Standileu, Kriteyuka, Jaleyu, Sanateyu, Dharmeyu, all of them. So then from the eldest son Riteyu came Rantinava, Apratirata, Sumati Dhruva. From Apratirata was Kanva Muni, who we'll read about soon, and Medatiti, and the Brahmins head by Praskana. And from Sumati came Revi and Dushmanta. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize until just now that Kanva and Dushmanta were cousins. Okay. The story of Dushmanta and Shakuntala. Once King Dushmanta went to the forest to hunt. Being tired, he came to Kanva Muni's ashram. So that's his cousin Kanva Muni's ashram, and saw an effulgent, beautiful woman there. He was delighted to see her beauty, agitated by lust, and he was relieved of fatigue. Dushmanta spoke in a joking mood. "Who are you? Whose daughter are you? Why are you in this forest alone? It appears that you are Kshatriya's daughter. Because I belong to the Puru dynasty, my mind never tries to enjoy anything irreligiously." Shakuntala replied, "I am the daughter of Vishwamitra. My mother Menaka left me in the forest. Kanva Muni knows this. I personally never saw or knew my parents. Now let me know, how may I serve you? O handsome king, please sit down and accept our reception. We have Nivara wild rice that you may eat. Stay here." Hearing her words, Dushmanta understood that she was also attracted. To induce her for marriage, he reminded her that she was a king's daughter. Dushmanta said, "O Shakuntala, your words in reception are quite worthy of your family, of Vishwamitras. The daughters of a king generally select their own husbands." Shakuntala agreed to the proposal with silence. Dushmanta then married her by chanting Omkar in accordance with the Gandharva style of marriage. Most efficient way of marrying. Dushmanta placed the semen in the womb of Shakuntala and returned to his palace. In due course of time, Shakuntala gave birth to a son. Kanva Muni performed the prescribed rituals for the child. The boy became so powerful that he would capture a lion and play with it. Shakuntala, along with her strong son, who was a partial expansion of Ri, approached Dushmanta, but Dushmanta refused to accept them. Then an unembodied voice spoke from the sky, announcing Shakuntala's chastity. O Dushmanta, a son actually belongs to his father, whereas the mother is only a container. The father is born as the son. Maintain your son, Bharat, and don't insult Shakuntala. He who discharges semen is the actual father, and his son saves him from Yamaraj. You are the actual procreator of this boy. Shakuntala is speaking the truth. And the glories and activities of King Bharat. King Bharat became the emperor of the world when Dushmanta passed away. He is a partial representation of the Supreme Lord. He had the mark of Krishna's chakra on his right palm. He had the mark of a lotus whorl on the soles of his feet. He was enthroned as an emperor by Abhishek, by not bathing ceremony. Abhishek is also means coronation, isn't it? He performed 55 horse sacrifices on the bank of the Ganges and 78 horse sacrifices on the bank of the Yamuna under the priesthood of Bhrigu Muni. He established the sacrificial fire on an excellent site, and he distributed 13,084 cows to each of the thousands of Brahmins. He bound 33,000 horses for those sacrifices and astonished all other kings. He surpassed even the opulence of the Devatas, for he attains the supreme Guru, Hari. And his Masuri Nara sacrifice, he gave in charity 1,400,000 elephants with white tusks and black bodies covered with golden ornaments. No one could imitate his wonderful activities in the past, nor will anyone be able to do so in the future, just as one cannot approach heaven by their arms. He defeated or killed the Kiratas, Hunas, Yavanas, Pondaras, Kankas, Kashas, Shakas, and the kings who were opposed to Brahminical culture, Brahmanya. He rescued all the wives and daughters of the demigods from the clutches of the demons who took them to Rasatala. He provided all necessities for his subjects. On earth, he provided all necessities for the subjects on the earth and in heaven for 27,000 years, and distributed his soldiers in all directions. He renounced his opulences, kingdom, unconquerable soldiers, family, thinking them impediments to spiritual advancement. Bharat married the 3 daughters of the king of Vidarbha. The children of his 3 wives didn't resemble him. Thinking that he would reject them, considering them unfaithful, the queens killed their own sons. Thank God. Bharat then performed a sacrifice named Marut-stoma to continue his lineage. The Maruts, being satisfied, then presented him a son named Bharadvāja. Now the next few verses describe who is Bharadvāja. Once Brihaspati was attracted by his brother Uttatya's pregnant wife, Mamata, and desired sex with her. The son within her womb objected this, as there is no space for 2 children there. But Brihaspati cursed him, "Become blind," and forcibly impregnated Mamata. Due to the curse of Brihaspati, the child Dirgatama in Mamata's womb was born blind. He kicked the semen of Brihaspati with his heel, and it fell from the womb of Mamata on the ground and immediately took the form of a child. Whoa, I didn't remember that part. Mamata, fearing rejection by her husband, considered giving up the illegitimate child born of another man, of her brother-in-law. God, it's so sick. But then the demigods gave a name to the child. There's a note here. According to scriptures, when a child is born, Jat Karma and Namkaran ceremonies are conducted by learned Brahmins. But the child to which Mamata gave birth was begotten by Brihaspati irreligiously. It is difficult to give a name to such a child according to proper regulative principles. So Mamata was perplexed, but the demigods gave the child the appropriate name Bharadvāja, which indicated that the child, born illegitimately, should be maintained by both Mamata and Brihaspati. Both Brihaspati and Mamata wanted each other to maintain the child, but both left the child. Thus the child was known as Bharadvāja. The Devatas encouraged Mamata to maintain the child, but she was embarrassed and considered the child useless due to his illicit birth. What? How is that the child's fault? So the Maruts maintained the child, and when King Bharat wanted a child, the Maruts gave him Bharadvāja as his son. Note, those who are rejected from the higher planets are given a chance to take birth in the most exalted families on this planet Earth. Alright, so now we'll hear the Dynasty of Bharat. Oh my god, I'm way over time. Thankfully, today's reading's a bit shorter than usual. Oh, cool. Thanks. Because I was actually wondering about that, Rup Manjari Didi. I was wondering, is this the Bharat that was named after, but is actually named after the Jad Bharat? Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, because I don't remember reading that either. So that's why. It's because I didn't read it. All right. The thing that really got to me yesterday was Brihaspati said, "You foolish woman, being like getting pregnant from another man other than your husband," and he was the one who impregnated her. Sorry, I can't get over it. Okay, let's start. The Dynasty of Bharat. This 21st chapter describes the dynasty born from Maharaj Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushmanta, and it also describes glories of Rantideva, Ajamid, and others. The son of Bharadvāja was Manu, and Manu's sons were Brihatkshatra, Jaya, Mahavirya, Nara, and Garga. Of these five, Nara had a son named Sankriti, who had two sons named Guru and Rantideva. An exalted devotee, Rantideva, saw every living entity in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he completely engaged his mind, his words, and his very self in the service of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Rantideva was so exalted that he would sometimes give away his own food in charity, and he and his family would fast. Once, after Rantideva spent 48 days fasting, not even drinking water, excellent food made with ghee was brought to him. But when he was about to eat it, a Brahmin guest appeared. Rantideva therefore did not eat the food, but instead immediately offered a portion of it to the Brahmin. When the Brahmin left and Rantideva was just about to eat the remnants of the food, a Shudra appeared. Rantideva therefore divided the remnants between the Shudra and himself. Again, when he was just about to eat the remnants of the food, another guest appeared. Rantideva therefore gave the rest of the food to the new guest and was about to content himself with drinking the water to quench his thirst. But this was also precluded, for a thirsty guest came and Rantideva gave him the water. This was all ordained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead just to glorify his devotee and show how tolerant a devotee is in rendering service to the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being extremely pleased with Rantideva, entrusted him with very confidential service. The special power to render the most confidential service is entrusted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to a pure devotee, not to ordinary devotees. Garga, the son of Bharadvāja, had a son named Shini, and Shini's son was Gargya. Although Gargya was a Kshatriya by birth, his sons became Brahmins. The son of Mahavirya was Duritakshaya, whose sons, the son of Mahavirya was Duritakshaya, whose sons were of a Kshatriya king. They also achieved the position of Brahmins. The son of Brihatkshatra instructed the city of Hastinapur and was known as Hasti. His sons were Ajamid, Dvimid, and Purumid. From Ajamid came Priyamedha and other Brahmins, and also a son named Brihadishu. The sons, grandsons, and further descendants of Brihadishu were Brihadhanu, Brihadkaya, Jayadratha, Vishada, and Senajit. From Senajit came 4 sons, Ruchirashva, Dridahanu, Kashya, and Vatsa. From Ruchirashva came a son named Para, whose sons were Pritusena and Nipa. And from Nipa came 100 sons. Another son of Nipa was Brahmadatta. From Brahmadatta came Vishaksena. From Vishvaksena, Udaksena. And from Udaksena, Bhalata. The son of Dvimira was Yavinara. And from Yavinara came many sons and grandsons, such as Kritiman, Satadriti, Dhridanemi, Suparshva, Sumati, Sanatiman, Kriti, Nipa, Urgrayuda, Kshemya, Suvira, Ripunjaya, and Bahurata. Purumida had no sons, but Ajamida, in addition to his other sons, had a son named Nila, whose son was Shanti. The descendants of Shanti were Sushanti, Puruja, Arka, Bharmyashva. Bharmashya had 5 sons, of whom Mudgala begot a dynasty of Brahmins. Mudgala had twins, a son Divodasa and a daughter Ahalya. From Ahalya, by her husband Gautama, Shatananda was born. The sons of Shatananda was Satadriti, and his son was Sharadvan. Sharadvan's son was known as Kripa, and Sharadvan's daughter, known as Kripi, became the wife of Dronacharya. Interesting. Shishuka Uvacha. One second. All right. Wait, what verse are we reading up to? 36. Okay. Vitatasya sutanmanyor brihat kshatra jayastata mahaviryo naro gargash sankritistu naratmaja. Shukadev Goswami said, because Bharadvāja was delivered by the Marut demigods, he was known as Vitata. The son of Vitata was Manu, and from Manu came 5 sons, Brihatkshatra, Jaya, Mahavirya, Nara, and Garga. Of these 5, the one known as Nara had a son named Sankriti. Guruscha Rantidevascha Sankrite Pandunandana Rantidevasya Mahima Ihamutra Chagiyate. O Maharaj Parikshit, descendant of Pandu, Sankriti had 2 sons named Guru and Rantidev. Rantidev is famous in both this world and the next, for he is glorified not only in human society, but also in the society of the demigods. Vedyadvitasya dadato labdhan babhukshata nishkinchanasya dhirasya sakutumbhasya siddhata vyatiyur ashtatvaringshad ahanyapi bata kila gritta payasa samyavam toyam pratar upastitam krichra prapta kutumbasya kshutridbhyam chatave pato atitir brahmana kale bhoktu kamasya chagamat. Rantidev never endeavored to earn anything. He would enjoy whatever he got by the arrangement of providence. But when guests came, he would give them everything. Thus he underwent considerable suffering along with the members of his family. Indeed, he and his family members shivered for want of food and water. Yet Rantidev always remained sober. Once, after fasting for 48 days, in the morning, Rantidev received some water and some foodstuffs made with milk and ghee. But when he and his family were about to eat, a Brahmin guest arrived. Tasmai samvya bhajatso nam adritya shraddhayanvita harim sarvatra sampashyan sabhuktva prayayo dvijaha. Because Rantidev perceived the presence of the Supreme God everywhere and in every living entity, he received the guest with faith and respect and gave him a share of the food. The Brahmin guest ate his share and then went away. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Rantideva perceived the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every living being, but he never thought that because the Supreme Lord is present in every living being must be God. Nor did he distinguish between one living being and another. He perceived the presence of the Lord both in the Brahman and in the Chandal. This is the true vision of equality, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 5:18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane kavihastini shuni chaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. A pundit, or learned person, perceives the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every living being. Therefore, although it has now become fashionable to give preference to the so-called Daridra Narayan, or poor Narayan, Rantideva had no reason to give preference to any one person. Because Narayan is present in the heart of one who is Daridra, or poor, the poor man should be called Daridra Narayan, is a wrong conception. By such logic, because the Lord is present within the hearts of the dogs and hogs would also be Narayan. One should not mistakenly think that Rantideva subscribed to this view. Rather, he saw everyone as part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari Sambandhi Vastuna. It is not that everyone is the Supreme Godhead. Such a theory, which is propounded by the Mayavad philosophy, is always misleading, and Rantideva would never have accepted it. Atanyo bokshamanasya vibhaktasya mahipate vibhaktam vyabhajatasmai vrishalaya haring smaran. Thereafter, having divided the remaining food with his relatives, Rantideva was just about to eat his own share when a Shudra guest arrived. Seeing the Shudra in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Rantideva gave him also a share of the food. Purport. Because King Rantideva saw everyone as part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never distinguished between the Brahmin and the Shudra, the poor and the rich. Such equal vision is called Samadarshina, Pandita Samadarshinaha. One who has actually realized that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart, and that every living being is part of the Lord, does not make any distinction between the Brahman and the Shudra, the poor, Daridra, and the rich, Dhani. Such a person sees all living beings equally and treats them equally without discrimination. Yate Shudre tam anyo gad atithi shvabhiravrita rajanme diyatam annam saganaya babhukshate. When the Shudra went away, another guest arrived, surrounded by dogs, and said, "O king, I and my company of dogs are very hungry. Please give us something to eat." I didn't know the dog part. Sa'adritya vishishtam yad bahumana puraskritam tacha dattva namaschakre shvabhya shvapataye vibhu. With great respect, King Rantideva offered the balance of the food to the dogs and the master of the dogs, who had come as guests. The king offered them all respects and obeisances. Paniya matramuchesham tachaika paritarpanam pasyata pulkaso bhyagad apodehya shubhayame. Thereafter, only the drinking water remains, and there is only enough to satisfy one person. But when the king was just about to drink it, a Chandala appeared and said, "O king, although I am low-born, kindly give me some drinking water." Tasyatam karunam pacham nishamya vipula shramam kripaya bhrisha santapta mahamrita vacha. Grieved at hearing the pitiable words of the poor fatigued Chandal, Maharaj Rantidev spoke the following nectarian words. Purport. Maharaj Rantidev's words were like amrita, or nectar, and therefore, aside from rendering bodily service to an aggrieved person, by his words alone, the king could save the life of anyone who might hear them. Nakamayeham gatim ishvarat param ashtardi yuktam apunar bhavangva artim prapadde kila deha bhajam antastito yena bhavantya dukkaha. I do not pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the 8 perfections of mystic yoga, nor for salvation from repeated birth and death. I only want to stay among all the living entities and suffer all distresses on their behalf, so that they may be freed from suffering. Purport. Vasudev Datta made a similar statement to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, requesting the Lord to liberate all living entities in his presence. Vasudev Datta submitted that if he were unfit to be liberated, he himself would take all their sinful reactions and suffer personally so that the Lord might deliver them. A Vaishnava is therefore described as being para dukkha dukhi, very much aggrieved by the sufferings of others. As such, a Vaishnava engages in activities for the real welfare of human society. Kshutrichamod gatra paribhramascha dainyam klama shoka vishadamoha sarve nivritta kripanasya jantor jijiv vishor jiva jalarpanam me. By offering my water to maintain the life of this poor Chandal who is struggling to live, I have been free from hunger, thirst, fatigue, trembling of the body, moroseness, distress, lamentation, and illusion. Iti prabhashya paniyam mriyamana pipasaya pulkasaya dadardhiro nisarga karuno nripa. Having spoken thus, King Rantidev, although on the verge of death because of thirst, gave his own portion of water to the Chandal without hesitation, for the king was naturally very kind and sober. Tasya tribhuvanadisha palada palamichatam atmanam darshayam chakrur maya vishnu vinirmitaha. Demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, who can satisfy all materially ambitious men by giving them the rewards they desire, then manifested their entities before King Rantidev, for it was they who had presented themselves as the Brahman, Shudra, Chandal, and so on. Savaitebhyo namaskritya nisango vigatas priya vasudeve bhagavati bhaktya chakre manaparam. King Rantidev had no ambition to enjoy material benefits from the demigods. He offered them obeisances, but because he was factually attached to Lord Vishnu, Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he fixed his mind at Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Anya Deva Ashraya Nai Tomare Kohinu Bhai E Bhakti Parama Karan. If one wants to become a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, not hanker to take benedictions from the demigods. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kamaistaster Hrita Jnana Prapadyantenya Devata. Those befooled by the illusion of material energy worship gods other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although Rantidev was personally able to see Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, he did not hanker to take material benefits from them. Rather, he fixed his mind upon Lord Vasudeva and rendered devotional service unto him. This is the sign of a pure devotee whose heart is not adulterated by material desires. Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karma dhanavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttamam. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably, and without desire for material profit or gain through fruit of activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Ishvaralambanam chitam kurvato nanyaradhasa maya guna mayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata. O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantideva was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires, the Lord's illusory energy Maya could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, for him Maya entirely vanished, exactly like a dream. Purport. As it is said, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hoy andakar. Jaha Krishna taha nahi mayar adhikar. Just as there is no chance that darkness can exist in the sunshine, in a pure Krishna conscious person, there can be no existence of Maya. The Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Daivi hiesha gunamayi maya durataya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etan tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. If one wants to be free from the influence of Maya, illusory energy, one must become Krishna conscious and always keep Krishna prominent within the core of his heart. In Bhagavad Gita 9:34, the Lord advises that one always think of him, Manmana bhavamar bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. In this way, by always being Krishna mind or Krishna consciousness, one can surpass the influence of Maya. Mayam etam tarantite. I like that. Being Krishna minded. Because Rantideva was Krishna conscious, he was not under the influence of the illusory energy. The word snapnavat is significant in this connection. Because in the material world the mind is absorbed in materialistic activities, when one is asleep, many contradictory activities appear in one's dreams. When one awakens, however, these activities automatically merge into the mind. Similarly, as long as one is under the influence of material energy, he makes many plans and schemes. But when one is Krishna conscious, such dreamlike plans automatically disappear. Tat prasanganubhavena rantidevanuvartina abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayana. All those who followed the principles of King Rantideva were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Thus they all became the best of yogis. Purport. The best yogis or mystics are the devotees, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 6:47. Yoginam api sarvesham margatayanantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The best yogi is he who constantly thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of the heart. Because Rantideva was the king, the chief executive in the state, all the residents of the state became devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan by the king's transcendental association. This is the influence of a pure devotee. If there is one pure devotee, his association can create hundreds and thousands of pure devotees. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is, how do you say this? Meritorious. I think meritorious, I don't know. I remember coming across this word before. Deserving reward or praise. Meritorious. Anyways, whatever. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is that, worthy of being praised, in proportion to the number of devotees he has created. Meritorious. Oh, that's a good word, actually. I need that word for one of the articles I'm writing. Okay. A Vaishnav becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. Here the word Rantidevanuvartina indicates that Rantidev's officers, friends, relatives, and subjects all became first-class Vaishnavas by his association. In other words, Rantidev is confirmed herein to be a first-class devotee, or Mahabhagavat. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Mukte. One should render service to such Mahatmas, for then one will automatically achieve the goal of liberation. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has also said, Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keva. One cannot be liberated by his own effort, but if one becomes subordinate to a pure Vaishnav, the door to liberation is open. Srila Prabhupada quotes that so much. This one. Gargachchinis tato gargya kshatrad brahma hyavartata duritaksha mahaviryat tasyatra yaruni kavi ye brahmana gatim gata brihakshatrasya putra bud tasti yad tastina puram. Oops. See, that's why I always have to do this. Pushkararu nirityatra ye brahmana gatim gata brihakshatrasya putra bud dhasti yad dhastina puram. Yeah, for some reason when I have it on this reading view, it takes this first line of the second verse off every time, almost. From Garga came a son named Shini, and his son was Gargya. Although Gargya was a Kshatriya, there came from him a generation of Brahmins. From Mahavirya came a son named Duritakshaya, whose sons were Trayaruni, Kavi, and Pushkaruni. Although these sons of Durikshaya took birth in a dynasty of Kshatriyas, they too attained the position of Brahmins. Brihakshatra had a son named Hasti, who established the city of Hastinapur, now New Delhi. Ajamira Divimirascha Purumidascha Hastina Ajamidasya Vangshyasyu Priyamedhadayo Dvijaha. From King Hasti came three sons named Ajamida, Dvimira, and Purumida. The descendants of Ajamida, headed by Priyamedha, all achieved this position of Brahmins. Purport. This verse gives evidence confirming the statement of Bhagavad Gita that the orders of society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, are calculated in terms of qualities and activities, guna karma vibhagasha. All the descendants of Ajamida, who was a Kshatriya, became Brahmins. This was certainly because of their qualities and activities. Similarly, sometimes the sons of Brahmins or Kshatriyas become Vaishyas, Brahmana Vaishyatam Tata. When a Kshatriya or Brahman adopts the occupation or duty of a Vaishya, Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam, he is certainly counted as a Vaishya. On the other hand, if one is born a Vaishya by his activities, he can become a Brahman. This is confirmed by Narad Muni. Yasya yal lakshanam proktam. The members of the Varnas or social orders, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, must be ascertained by their symptoms, not by birth. Birth is immaterial. Quality is essential. Ajameda brihadishus tasya putra brihadhanu brihadkaya satastasya putra asijjayadrata. From Ajamid came a son named Brihadishu. From Brihadishu came a son named Brihadhanu. From Brihadhanu, a son named Brihadkaya. And from Brihadkaya, a son named Jayadratha. Tatsuto vishadastasya senajit samajayata ruchirashva dridahanu kashyavatsashtatsuta. The son of Jayadratha was Vishada, and his son was Senajit. The sons of Senajit were Ruchirashva, Dridahanu, Kashya, and Vatsa. Ruchirashva sutapara pritusenastaratmaja parasya tanayo nipas tasya putra shatam tvabhut. The son of Ruchirashva was Para, and the sons of Para were Pritusena and Nipa. Nipa had 100 sons. Sakritvam Shukakanyayam Brahmadattam Ajijanat Yogi Sa Gavibharyayam Vishvaksenam Adhatsutam. King Nipa begot a son named Brahmadatta through the womb of his wife Kritvi, who was the daughter of Shuka. And Brahmadatta, who was a great yogi, begot a son named Vishvaksena through the womb of his wife Saraswati. Purport. The Shuka mentioned here is different from Shukadev Goswami, who spoke Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, is described in great detail in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. There it is said Vyasadeva maintained the daughter of Jabali as his wife, and that after they performed penances together for many years, he placed his seed in her womb. The child remained in the womb of his mother for 12 years, and when the father asked the son to come out, the son replied that he would not come out unless he were completely liberated from the influence of Maya. Vyasadeva then assured the child that he would not be influenced by Maya, but the child did not believe his father, for the father was still attached to his wife and children. Vyasadeva then went to Dwarka and informed the personality of Godhead about his problem, and the personality of Godhead, at Vyasadeva's request, went to Vyasadeva's cottage, where he assured the child in the womb that he would not be influenced by Maya. Wow, it took the personality of Godhead to convince him. Thus assured, the child came out, but he immediately went away as a Parivrajacharya. When the father was very much aggrieved, he began to follow his saintly boy, Shukadev Goswami. The boy created a duplicate Shukadev, who later entered family life. I never heard that before. That's so interesting. Therefore, the Shuka Kanya, or daughter of Shukadev, mentioned in this verse, is the daughter of the duplicate or imitation Shukadev. The original Shukadev was a lifelong brahmachari. Jaigishavyopadeshena yogatantram chakaraha udaksena tatastasmad bhalato barhadiv shava. Following the instructions of the great sage Jagishavya, Vishvaksena compiled an elaborate description of the mystic yoga system. From Vishvaksena, Udaksena was born, and from Udaksena, Bhalata. All these sons are known as the descendants of Brihadishu. Yavinara Dvimirdasya Kritimang Sutta Smrita Namna Satya Dhritistasya Dhridanemi Suparshvakrit. The son of Dvimirda was Yavinara, whose son was Kritiman. The son of Kritiman was well known as Satyadriti. From Satyadriti came a son named Dhridanemi, who became the father of Suparshva. Meritorious. Okay, cool. Doesn't let me click on this. Anyways, I'll check that out after Radha Krishna ji. Hare Dandava Pranam Sharma ji. Okay. Suparshvat sumatistasya putra sannatimangstata kriti hiranyayad padyor yo yogam prapya jagosmashat sanghita prachasamanam vai nipoyud grayudastata tasakshemya suvirota suvirasya ripunjaya. Oops. From Suparshva came a son named Sumati. From Sumati came Sanatiman. And from Sanatimam came Kriti, who achieved mystic power from Brahma and taught he taught 6 samhitas of Prachasama, of the Samaveda. The sons of Kriti was Nipa, the son of Nipa, Ugrayuda, the son of Ugrayuda, Kshemya, the son of Kshemya, Suvira, and the son of Suvira, Ripunjaya. Tato bahurato nama purumedo prajo bhavat nalinyam ajamedasya nilashantis tutatsuta. From Ripunjaya came a son named Bahurata. Purumeda was sonless. Ajameda had a son named Nila by his wife known as Nalini, and the son of Nila was Shanti. One second. Shante sushantistat putra purujorkastato bhavat bharmyashvastanayastasya panchasan mudkaladaya yavinaro brihadvisha kampila sanjaya sutta bharmyashva prahaputra me panchanam rakshanayahi Shayanam alam ime ichala sangita mudar brahmani nirvritam gotram modkalasam. The son of Shanti was Sushanti. The son of Sushanti was Puruja, and the son of Puruja was Arka. From Arka came Bharmyashva, and from Bharmashya came 5 sons, Murinara, Brihadvishwa, Kampila, and Sanjaya. Bharmyashva prayed to his sons, "O my sons, please take charge of my 5 states, for you are quite competent to do so." Thus his 5 sons were known as the Panchalas. From Mudgala came a dynasty of Brahmins known as Modgalya. We're almost done. Mithuna Mudgalar Bharmyar Devodasa Pumam Abhut Ahalya Kanyaka Yasyam Shatanandas to Gautamat. Mudgala, the son of Bharmyashva, had twin children, one male and the other female. The male child was named Devodasa, and the female child was named Ahalya. From the womb of Ahalya, by the semen of her husband Gautama, came a son named Shatananda. Shatananda, yeah, that's right. Tasya Satyadriti Putra Dhanurveda Visharda Sharadvangs Tatsuto Yasmad Urvashi Darshanat Kila Sharastambe Patadireto Mithunam Tar Abhuchubam. The son of Shatananda was Satyadriti, who was expert in archery, and the son of Satyadriti was Sharadvan. When Sharadvan met Urvashi, he discharged semen, which fell on a clump of shara grass. From this semen were born 2 all-auspicious babies, one male and the other female. Tadrishva kripaya grinach chantanur mrigayam charan kripa kumara kanyacha dronapatnya bhavat kripi. While Maharaj Shant was on a hunting excursion, he saw the male and female children lying in the forest, and out of compassion he took them home. Consequently, the male child was known as Kripa, and the female child was named Kripi. Kripi later became the wife of Dronacharya. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Purport of the 9th canto, 21st chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Dynasty of Bharat. All right, so tomorrow we're getting so close to the end. It's only a few more days. Wait, okay, so tomorrow, we're going to read about the descendants of Ajamid. All right, so tomorrow's just going to be tons of Dynasty stuff. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai. Oh, and just curious, did everybody here see the video that I posted last night for the commencing our Rupa Shiksha program? If not, you can check it out on YouTube. I'll send you the link while I'm doing Jadrani. I'll send it in the chat here. Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinor Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Chai Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vaja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ki Jai Shri Mona Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashaja Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavata Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams everybody. Oh, you saw it, Rohit Radhakrishna ji? Cool. Thanks, Manjari Didi. Yeah, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you'll see I posted it in the comments here. Alright, see you all tomorrow. Dandavat Pranams. Oh, and I forgot to offer pranams to Indira Mataji, who will be watching later. Hare Krishna.